I'm not sure why they're not doing 4K, since a lot of flagship phones nowadays are doing 4K, so that might bother you. So the Xiaomi does have two different color profiles. You get Leica Authentic and Leica Vibrant. The difference from my perspective is the Leica Authentic does have a more realistic approach to the shadows, where it can be just a bit darker, and the Vibrant does make the colors pop more. But I'll say with the Leica Authentic colors being a bit more darker, some people may not like that. For the majority of the comparison, I am picking the Leica Authentic color profile. In this video, instead of sectioning off the ultra-wide, wide, and like all these lenses, I'm going to show you straight from ultra-wide all the way down to telephoto and just give you my thoughts on it. And you can see some of the quality differences and maybe some of color shifting as well, as we're looking at the same picture. So looking at these photos, some things may jump out to you is the colors, which is personal preference, and some of the white balancing, where sometimes the Xiaomi do look more cooler and vice versa with the iPhone. But there are some times where I think the iPhone just look a bit too yellowish green. From using the Xiaomi 13 Pro, I do like the Leica colors coming off of these phones. Same with the Ultra here, given that the authentic color does give a bit more of the darker shadows. It kind of gives off that like less over-processed look like most of the phones have nowadays. So with the HDR look, the iPhone will perform more consistently, where the highlights are more exposed and you can see more in the shadows. And for the telephoto pictures, obviously the Xiaomi will be the better one just because it can zoom all the way up to 120x, whereas on iPhone it's 15x max. As you can tell, it's pretty digitized and it doesn't look as good. The Xiaomi does have a 1-inch wide lens, so when you're taking pictures up close or something in your hands, the background blur is going to be much more narrow and more blurrier than the iPhone. So taking pictures with the Xiaomi will give you a closer look to a regular point-and-shoot camera, and because of the bigger sensor, it will perform better in low light situations. And it's also pretty handy when you're shooting video, where your subject or item will pop a lot more, given that the background blur is more dense. So just shooting with the Xiaomi do give you more of the cinematic feel to your videos. I also tried shooting with the telephoto and they both look pretty similar, well, besides the color. There is cinematic mode on iPhone, which relies a lot on AI and technology, but as you can tell, the cutout doesn't look perfect on the leaves and you can lose focus if you don't track it. Now I tried something more simple like my tripod and bag, and as you can tell, it looks pretty good on the iPhone, but the edges are pretty soft. So if you want the natural background blur, then having a bigger sensor really helps with that. Now if you want to see everything, the Xiaomi does have a variable aperture f 4.0, so it's nice to have that option to show more of the background and less blur. And this is a good option to have just in case if you're vlogging where you have someone else with you and they're kind of behind you and they can be in focus as well. I also added on the comparison with the Xiaomi versus iPhone, like a vlog style clip, just to let you see the background differences too. When I'm shooting ultra wide video, I noticed that on the iPhone, it does look pretty shaky on the screen as I'm walking, versus on the Xiaomi, it looks very stabilized. Not until I watched the